I have something.
Do you have some? Okay, I'll stop share then.
No, you keep going. Hang on. All right. Got it?
Do I got it? I don't know.
Happy birthday, MCR. There we go.
Wait,
100
wait, show it
episodes.
again.
Whoa. That was
Yeah.
too quick. You went out
Yeah,
too quick.
I need
What was
another
that?
peek at
You got to
that.
relight that. Hold on.
Look, I made the
So
little
you got
mug
your
cake.
you got your mug cake.
Is it cake?
Yeah.
You.
That's too quick again. You have to make a
Well,
wish.
No, we got to pop
You have to,
champagne too.
You have
Okay.
to
We're
I'll
making
always-
mimosas,
I'll
right?
pop that. Okay.
So we got a magical gift for our 100th episode. We had some deliveries with some
Other stuff
champagne
that
and some
won't-
mug cakes.
Yeah. I got Fireball and I'm not popping that.
I got Fireball too, but yeah, I'm not drinking that. That's special. I'm gonna save those up, and next
So
time I
this is a
see DJ
twist?
CJ, it's gonna be a bad idea.
Okay, it doesn't pop.
But I just so happen to that's an afternoon drink. Oh, Fireball's an afternoon drink. It depends on your spirit. There we go. I poured myself a lovely little,
Well, let me go
Mimosa,
grab a glass. then.
and we'll keep going here. Oh, you don't have the right type of glass? I don't either. It is what it is. But yeah, today is our 100th actual episode. I know we've talked before because we weren't really counting. We had DJ CJ go back, and she was lucky enough to find that today, January 17th, is our actually 100th episode, which is a big deal for a silly little live weekly podcast about all things Bluebeam. Thanks for joining us today. Thanks for sticking with us. And I know a lot of the folks on the participants list have been here for most of those episodes. So that's awesome. This really means a lot for you. For me, it means a lot to ATG. It means a lot for Michael and Matt and Jolie and everything else. This has been a lot of fun. And no, Matt, we don't want to show things from the first episode. But we are going to go down memory lane a little bit today. Did you pour champagne into the coffee mug?
Yeah, but it's not the coffee mug I'm drinking out of. I went and grabbed the Vegas coffee mug that my wife got me.
There you go. So yeah,
Is that
what
a
should
translucent coffee mug?
Yeah,
Was I seeing through that?
Yeah.
and that's pretty cool.
That's really cool.
So yeah, I don't know if we have any specific topics today, but of course, as usual, if you've got questions, go ahead and put them in the chat, put them in the Q&A. We'll answer them, but otherwise, today's going to be a little bit more random, which is not saying much given that most things are random around here, but that's all good.
Yeah, so let's start off with saying that you do have the option, as always, to ask us any questions if you have any workflow specific questions. If not, we are going to do recaps today. We asked Matt Lynn and Jolie Allen to join us from all of our after episodes that we've done before, because they are just as knowledgeable as us in review and have helped us along the way provide content and fun, and as well as some back-end work too. Kyle Davis was unable to join today. He is helping out support, so we did ask him. And then, of course, we have DJ CJ here, as always, and we couldn't be where we're at without her help on the marketing end and marketing front too.
Absolutely. So it's nice to have Matt and Jolie join us today, and always DJ CJ. That's what makes our little MCR world here go around. So, but also DJ CJ put a slightly scary comment there that Tom Hanks says that Diet Coke and champagne go together, like mixing Diet Coke and champagne. And Tom Hanks is an idol of mine, so like I don't know how to take that.
So it looks like DJ CJ is facilitating the need maybe for an MCR mug. So if you want to check the chat out. But today, if there are no questions, we were going to do some recap. And I was looking earlier today while we were waiting for IT issues. If you haven't gone on to our YouTube channel, you can go to ATG USA and you can subscribe, hopefully. And you'll see our 100th episode today that we're going to be going through. But also down here under Bluebeam, party tricks and tips and tricks, but just be aware that there's other things that we do here at ATG, not just Bluebeam related. But I'm going to go down to my view full playlist of the Bluebeam morning coffee review. If you ever wanted any other tips, I know these two get shared with our videos, but these have the quick tip videos as well on our channel. So they're like 3-minute videos, 4-minute video, 5-minute videos. But I'm going to go to my view full playlist. And from here, you can see all of our episodes. And I went all the way down to the bottom. And first and foremost, I would like to say I am glad I got rid of the mustache. And I'm pretty sure my wife is equally as happy about that too.
Actually,
I remember,
we were going to
Look
talk
at
about
look
that.
at your wall.
It's
Yes.
time to bring it back.
and that's what we'll talk about. So we'll talk about first and foremost, when we started out, Jason and I used to do intro videos, and maybe we'll get back into it. Maybe we won't, but we used to do intro videos, and this is where we started.
That was March 16th. Is when we did the first one.
No, this was our first, like, what's
brewing.
Yeah.
So we're actually coming up on our 2-year anniversary too.
Yes.
Very
And I
crazy.
had a blank wall and you had a fake wall. But we'll also talk about how your wall has changed, because I was looking. As you start looking up, my wall starts to change, but then your background starts to show and finally start to change too.
That was, yeah, because I actually painted in between things. My room wasn't always green. So yeah, lots of growth here.
Lots of
Also-
growth.
Jason, I like that old school one. I like the books.
You know, the virtual background.
Yeah. Can you bring that on today for nostalgia?
I don't know.
Is that a file in there?
Where it is.
What do we got here?
Michael's got
Oh,
something leaning against his wall, maybe a sweater, or it's a
I don't
sweater hanging
have-
on his doorknob, perhaps.
We
Yeah.
don't have Zoom anymore, so I don't have capabilities to do
Here-
anything other than blur.
Here was the shirt that I'm wearing now too. Well, the jacket over another jacket with the mustache. Gosh, the days. I was still bald, so that's good.
You
I don't
added the
think I-
shelf, but nothing on it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Building the shelves, getting ready to add some plants, blank wall behind as well.
Yeah, the swag has grown immensely.
Mhm.
Yeah, compared to now, I was gonna get more plants too. I was asking my wife, and she came in. I was like, "You want to go plant stand?" She looked at me. She said, "You need more plants?" And I said, "Yes, always." But as you go through and look, I guess the what's brewing is probably the easiest, just because they're so short. As you go through and look for
We
a
need our
background.
music.
Can I share?
Jason's beard is more full now too.
Yeah, it's gotten a little out of control. I'm waiting for it to get more gray, because if I trim it down, it's really patchy and I don't like it. Old man life. You didn't
Hello,
warn me
everyone.
about this, Matt.
And that's the music. Can you hear it?
Yeah.
I've been adding those into my quick tip videos that I've been posting. I changed it just because we didn't do a what's brewing any lately. But let's talk about some of our first episodes and what we've gone through and covered the most. So actually, our live Q&A was March 2nd was the first time we did our
So
MCR. Is that correct? Yeah.
that's what was just put in the chat. David was here on our first one, and he's here on our 100th one. So hooray for us, or
You can use
something like that. Yeah, March 2nd. So geez, 2 years is coming across. We'll have to do something else for that one too. Who knows what'll happen?
And that was general inquiries. And then we did live Q&A for the first couple. And then we started doing specific one, like updates. We did the Apple versus Windows. That's a great segment. And probably talking about that now too, just in terms of Apple versus iOS versus Windows. What would we be using for field? I think it's going to be kind of a question of, do we want to lightly mark up? Then we'd probably use the web-based app to log into our Surface Pro. If we want to manage our files or punch lists, we probably still use our Apple device for Bluebeam Cloud.
Yeah, and I haven't even fired up my old Surface Pro lately, but I need to see if it still works. Pretty sure it does, but see how that works with cloud and everything, because it's such a good portable device. I do really like the form factor of those, but I haven't been keeping up on them because I switched to Apple at home. So
Liz recommended ad block.
for extensions.
Apparently this will help my YouTube. And then we had top 10 features, hacks in Bluebeam. That had a lot of views. We had punch lists. This one, review CAD standard or extreme, had a lot of views, which is no longer going to be the mantra moving forward for Bluebeam.
Right.
It'll be basic core complete. Turn off my room heater here because it's getting hot.
On that note, if you needed more licenses, it is still January. Jolie, can you provide some clarity on what's going on with January at the end of this month?
You can still upgrade and get your licenses back on maintenance until January 31st.
So if you had a 19, you could still upgrade it to maintenance to upgrade to 20?
You can. You have until January 31st.
There you go.
And that wasn't the case, right? You just had to have had it prior to the release. But I'm assuming that's kind of like their trade-in now. You could upgrade in this time versus a trade-in value of, like, say, I had 19, but I want the newest version. There really hasn't been any talk about a trade-in value, right?
But if you own perpetual licenses right now that have active maintenance, you can still add perpetual if you haven't moved to subscription.
If you haven't moved to the subscription model yet. You have until March. So March would just be understanding that you need to purchase the new license structure for it to be supported. If you want to get your bang for your buck, where you no longer lose access to Studio, you'd want to upgrade to active maintenance by the end of this month. Is that correct, Julie?
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you've got 19 or below, it will die in March. But after January, you really are kind of locked into that dead date, right? Because you won't be able to upgrade or do anything with it. So you got a week and a half or so.
It's been a busy month.
I bet.
Jolie has been under the fire. I guess for those of us that don't know what Jolie does here at ATG, let's just have Jolie introduce herself for those folks that are maybe a little newer.
So I handle our Bluebeam renewals, but I also pretty much just do anything Bluebeam that Michael and Jason don't take care of. I basically do it all. But I've been helping everyone with the process of moving to subscription, which has been a lot, but it's been a fun process, I can say. I've got to know a lot of customers way more, and I'm pretty good at having that conversation. I can have it in about 2 minutes and get it all out there at this point. I've had it so many times.
There you go. So Jolie helps on everything that Jason and I don't have the ability to. And she is there to answer any questions and any upgrade questions that you have, or just renewal questions. She is more knowledgeable with that than Jason and myself.
Absolutely. And DJ CJ put in the chat that she's also the kindest person on the planet, and we are so lucky to have her here at ATG. And I 100% agree. So I'm tagging on to Carrie's comment. So
same.
Yay, Jolie. And also happy 2-year anniversary of being at ATG.
Yes.
It's only been 2 years, but it feels like 10 at this point.
Yeah,
well, when you have to deal with Michael and myself, we age things quite a bit.
I sure do. So then the next one after that was support with Kyle. So if you ever have any issues and you are purchasing your licenses through us, feel free to reach out to ATG support. We will help you with anything you have in terms of support related questions. So we did do a support, and I think we talked about deployment in this one as well, to talk about how IT ends can go through and deploy Revu. And maybe we'll bring Kyle back on to talk about how you can deploy Revu 21 as well.
Yeah, because there are some different things that you might want to approach with that. And we do have an episode coming up in my list here for Bluebeam for admins. So that'll be happening before the end of February for sure, about deployment configurations, things like that are different in 21, a little bit different.
We
And
quickly hit Surface Pros and tablets. Can we come back to that real quick?
Yes, it was right.
Just
here.
as a side note. I mean, it's MCR, we do side notes, right?
Yes.
So in my previous office, when people introduce Bluebeam Revu, is actually kind of slow to adopt because architects in general like to redline via hand, myself included. Like when we redline, we like to have a big old set of documents and a red pen, and that's what we grew up doing. And so it was the tablet and the Surface Pro specifically that really opened it up to, okay, we're willing to go down this digital path because I still have a pen, sort of, right? A stylus or whatever. And so we were able to actually go and do the old school. And what's nice about the old school is you can actually flip pages. So in Bluebeam, like, okay, I could do that and flip pages, go like this and flip back and flip back. So because of the tablet, I think that was really opened it up to architects in general, and the industry is like, okay, this is an acceptable thing. We can take it. We can make this transition. So, and obviously that's not really digging into all the metadata, but it at least opened the door to where now people, I think, are really digging into the metadata.
Yeah, and I guess to think about in terms of how we are transitioning to this digital world, and typically the best thing for adopting new solutions is, does it resonate to something that we were doing before? Right.
Right. I think the tablet bridged that gap for Bluebeam Revu.
Okay.
And, the chat's saying that Liz says no red pens, Bluebeam forever, making a reference to, it's an old movie reference if you didn't know. iPad all the way. And Alex makes a comment that COVID really forced out the red pen people. Is that? Yeah, that's a thing. Red pen people to redline and Bluebeam. So yeah, I mean,
I was a red pen person for sure.
there was that force. You no
And it
longer
shows
have
your
a
age.
large format printer. You no longer have the big scanner. You're working from home. What can you do? Well,
Or doing half size sheets, 11 by 17 too. So drawing to scale was a huge one. 3K views almost for this one. And that was using your sketch to scale tools in Revu. I didn't touch any of those. They are the orange color icons in Revu. So if you ever wanted to sketch to scale, you do need to set a scale to your PDFs before you can sketch to scale, but they are your orange color icons that you can get access to. Let me open up a PDF here. So you do have the option right here to sketch to scale. You just have to set a scale on your PDF in order to sketch to scale. And your sketch to scale tools are also under tools, sketch to scale, polygon, rectangle, ellipse, and polyline.
and I've seen some really, really cool things done with that as far as customization and tool sets and getting it as close to a CAD platform as it can be. Bluebeam is not CAD. Even though there is a Bluebeam Revu CAD, it's not CAD, right? So for those of us who come from a CAD background, it ain't cutting it. But can you draw things to scale? Sure. Can you draw them properly? No. But
yeah,
I'm sure there's whizzes who add it.
Yeah, I always say it's not meant to be a design tool, but to convey intent.
Exactly. This is a construction tool after all, right? First and foremost, it's meant for construction, and we've just all been adapting it to design and making it do things that we used to do with paper. So the transition, unlocking these new capabilities has all been sort of unique to a lot of different folks.
I have talked to an architect who produced an entire set of construction documents in Bluebeam Revu, and I was very impressed.
Yeah.
Thinking that must have taken a very long time, but it can be done.
It can be done.
Yeah.
I just can't imagine the amount of time spent.
Right. Yeah. It's not the fastest.
Yeah. Then there's layers. So layers definitely are a huge part in Revu, in the ability to either bring a set from AutoCAD and have layers already preset up for some of your data, or just assigning your custom tool sets to layers. The other day we were doing a training and folks were trying to set up revisions as layers. So copying entire sheets over as a revision. So you can see your different revs stacked through your layers. So there's a bunch of different things that you can go through and do within layers themselves. And we did that over a couple of years ago. I forget that we're in 2023 now.
Yeah.
Digital dashboards were huge. Sorry, somebody want to add to that before I skip?
There's issues with layers in Review 21. So we'll have to dive into that. I honestly haven't made the time to do so, but maybe that'll change soon.
I worked with layers in 21 when I was doing the training, and I hadn't noticed it. Oh, and someone's drawing on my thing. I'm assuming that's the ad thing. But going through and looking at that, definitely we could touch back and see if we can break it live on MCR with layers.
Mm-hmm.
Digital dashboards. I created a white paper on this. It was featured in Built blog. That's Bluebeam's blog. And it's how to create a digital dashboard in an hour. So you're able to go through and do that too.
Yeah, I wanted to mention the built.bluebeam.com blog because, or what is it, blog.bluebeam.com? Because of that built stuff, there's some really interesting articles in there. Even if you're not in the construction world or the design world or something, there's some unique looks at technology and what's going on, in these weird times. Go check it out if you're looking into blog stuff.
Agreed. There's a bunch of good content in there that's frequently posted as well. Then there's Bluebeam Review CAD. That's just what can you do with your plugins. Then there is Bluebeam versus Adobe, which I believe we're not supposed to compare it directly to a different solution and just show differentiators, but that's okay. We did it here live because that's what we do. We go out the boundaries a little bit and we compared Bluebeam versus what you can do within Adobe. So if you ever wanted to go back and watch this.
I think our rule is you have to break out one of those fireball shots, right?
Yeah, Jason counted 3
Jason
of those.
counted 3.
Mm-hmm.
It's a rough start to the morning.
The name is Adobe, so in this thing I was able to say it. I feel like I get
That's
a hard
4.
Yes, we have a hard A rule here, and also calling Revu Bluebeam is also a fireball shot here with what we do on MCR.
Well, I didn't know that was a rule. I'd be in trouble.
Yes, I made it a rule on my last teaching that we had at our tech summit internally for ATG. Bluebeam back to basics. These are great if you're just jumping into Revu and you want to learn what Revu offers. These are quick videos of 1 hour showing you everything you need to know about Revu and what it can do for you. So if you're new to Revu, we did back to basics, and then up in 2022, we did blooming into Revu as well. So if you're looking on what you can go through and do and learn about the intro into it, you can review those. Then we did this one. We went West Coast and the thunder wasn't as loud there. So we transitioned out and pivoted and just held one MCR.
Yeah, I mean, we tried to do the West thing because when we launched this, there was a lot of people out West saying, well, I really wish this was later because I don't want to get up early to learn about Bluebeam. That's silly. And some of you guys are silly, and that's awesome. But we tried it, and we tried doing the same exact topic. And even though we had kind of already done it earlier in the week, we didn't have the same sort of vibe. So it was kind of hard for us to get into. And plus, that's back when I had a different role here at ATG, and I didn't have as much time to take another hour out of my week to go do this thing. So, yeah, we tried, and maybe it'll do a encore at some point. But for the most part, we'll just stick to our Tuesday mornings and poor Michael and his time zones.
Yep, that always happens when you live on the West Coast. It's a great time. Quantity link was another one. We did headers and footers. So if you're ever more of an admin end and you want headers and footers, quantity link we did batch, and batch quantity link will only be in the complete version of the newest tier, just so we're all aware. Just like it was before with it was just available in extreme. You can create a link whenever. It's just a more manual process. So if you ever had to go through and quickly create links because these weren't printed out, you can do this with the batch feature. And that is only with, again, extreme or complete version of Revu. So I'm just going to quickly go through and create hyperlinks here. Generate, run. And you can quickly go through and do that within this area by using the batch feature, and you can click and it brings you over here. This would be if you wanted to create that versus, bookmarks to jump through your pages. Headers and footer,
right?
Sorry. Yeah, or both.
Well,
Yeah. I mean, what would you prefer, Matt, if you were reviewing a set, this or bookmark?
I like both.
Oh, okay.
It depends. If I'm in red pen mode, I like the bookmarks. If I'm dialing on a single detail, then I like the link. So I guess both.
Okay. Then we have headers and footers. This would be more of an admin case, maybe not so much, but headers and footers. How can you go through and create headers and footers on your PDF set as well? We did field workflows, so the ability to go through and create punch lists, I believe this was. Then we did custom markups and reviews, so that's more of our tool sets. We did live goes west again with Kyle Davis. Studio, so if you wanted to learn more about Studio and your options, you can go through and learn about that. Bluebeam Viewer, so this was more of the reader, which every desktop should now have Bluebeam Revu 21 installed as their viewer. It's a non-licensed type of review. It's just like the other readers that you're probably used to for opening up your PDFs as default. Next one is our digital signatures. So this is a great one. Does somebody want me to duck this down?
That's the OCD was killing me. I did it several times. I'm like, sure, he's going to get it eventually. Thank you. I'll clear my markup.
Okay. So digital signatures. So this is if we're going to go through and stamp and seal. This is an extreme version or a complete version only. So if you needed to go through and create a sign and seal where the jurisdiction for your submittals is requiring a digital signature, this is what you'll go through and do. So if you need to review this and have wondered how to complete this, you can go through and do this using the batch sign and seal feature in Revu. Goes west again. What's brewing? So this is when we had someone from sorry, not from ATG, we are ATG, from Bluebeam on, Amanda, and she was on their technical, what part?
I don't know. She's no longer with them. She's moved on to other pastures. But yeah, she was.
But she answered and she answered any questions that you had from Bluebeam. And that was a great episode too. So if you ever want to revisit it, exporting PDFs, we did insights. Oh, I guess there's two. Oh, this is the what's brewing, and then that is the episode. Okay.
Yeah.
There's a comment in here for Jason and Michael to cap off this episode of the live karaoke of Bohemian Rhapsody. And my question is Michael, do you know what that song is?
I don't even know what that song is.
Okay, so that's kind of out.
No. So, okay.
What?
If I heard the song, I would probably know it. It's just
Fireball.
like me with actors.
Fireball
It's
right
just
now.
like it's just like me with actors. So I don't know the names of things, but I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that one.
Have you heard of the band Queen?
Yes, I have heard the band Queen because I actually watched the HBO movie on it, and then I was like, "Oh, Queen,"
which was
this is
fantastic.
great.
By the way.
Yeah. So I probably know it. I just don't know the name of the song.
Okay.
Okay.
Fair enough.
Isaac's ready to kick you off and give you the lyric prompt. So
I can bring it up here in a second, and I will probably remember it. I just didn't know the name.
What was the name of that movie on HBO with Queen? The name of the movie was.
I think it was Bohemian Rhapsody.
Oh, was it? Okay. Yeah. See, so I more than likely know the song because he probably sang it in the movie, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Probably.
XCon.
All right.
I feel a late night coming.
Yeah,
Wherever it's going to be.
Stop ragging on it. Let's talk about XCon. So XCon pregame, this is what we were talking about, what we were hoping to seeing at XCon. And then we did a live XCon as well. No, that was a wrap up. I don't think we showed the live XCon because we actually filmed some of XCon as well. So we didn't show it in here. But we went live from XCon and then we did a wrap up. What did we love seeing at XCon? Who taught there? Who did we meet in person finally? Because some folks were long-term listeners to MCR, but we had never met them in person. So we did an XCon wrap up, and also people that went got a ton of mugs. And today, people are, I don't know if I'm supposed to mention this. I'll let DJ CJ because she kind of knows where I was going.
Yeah. See, we're going back
Oh
so
my gosh,
far.
that's a good segue. That's a
Okay,
good segue.
Okay.
All right. Hold on. I'm going to come on screen.
Whoa! No mask.
No
Okay.
mask. It's CJ. First of all, I just want to say thank you to everybody for joining us for so many episodes. It's been amazing. But also that we wanted to say thank you by providing free morning coffee review shirts for everybody. So I'm going to drop a link into the chat right now. And if you guys want us to send you a morning coffee review shirt, it'll look a little bit like this. It won't have this part on the back, but we'll send it your direction. And so that was it. That's it. I'm out of here. I'm hidden again, but thank you so much for being part of this community, guys.
I think
Thanks,
we need
DJ
to cherish
CJ.
this. Yeah, I think we need to cherish this moment because she has never come on screen before. In order for you to meet her in person, you had to go to XCon. And in order for you to probably see her again, we'll have to maybe be at 200 episodes or XCon again. So
Well,
thank you.
I've actually been coordinating with her boyfriend, and I've got a whole collection of baby pictures and all other embarrassing pictures that I was going to show if she wasn't going to turn her camera on. But luckily, she dodged that bullet.
Ooh.
For now.
And just like all the folks here that are on our panel, we wouldn't be able to be where we are if it weren't for all of you. And Matt, yours is coming up, so then we can introduce you because you've been sitting here quietly and patiently and joining in for yourself as well. So we did XCon and then we did creative workflows with Doug, and we need to have Doug back on. So Doug is a longtime listener since episode 1 and also met in XCon and taught at XCon. And this one, he did his custom workflow for casework. And I believe he showed a little bit of Power Query. He prefers Power Query of his exports. And correct me if I'm wrong at all in this, Doug, because he hates the ability to link into Excel with quantity link.
The Magic Man.
The Magic Man. Yeah, I believe we have him docked maybe for another one. I know he wanted to, well, someone said we should have him back on. And then I don't know if it was reluctant because I can't tell by chat feature. If he was like, I guess I'll come back on. Back to basics. And this is Matt Lynn. So Matt Lynn's first episode, I believe he was on more than that before. Back in October 14th, 2021. So let Matt introduce himself. He's been here and introducing. So take it away, Matt.
Thanks, Michael. My name is Matt Lynn. I am an architect, and I've been in the industry since 2001, and that's why I started with the red pen. Been here a while. And I've been here at ATG for 4 years, so I was here at the beginning of this morning coffee review. And every now and then these guys invite me on, and it's always a pleasure to join them. So thanks for having me.
Thank you. And you're a listener too, right, Matt? So you
That's
are
right.
sitting in sometimes as well.
That's right.
Yeah, and that was one of the episodes where I think I was traveling for work or something, and I couldn't attend, and Matt was there to fill in and save the day. And I'm sure your workflows and review have changed quite a bit since then too.
They have, yeah. Like I said in the beginning, it was all stylus, just because it was comfortable for me, and my previous firm, we all got on board with it. I don't know if any of them are here today, but anyways, yeah. So, and then that slowly then transition into, hey, there's a lot more metadata if you don't use a stylus. And actually, maybe there is with it that I don't know. I don't know. There may be able to access that metadata with the stylus. So anyone who knows, please feel free to chime in.
You can on the iPad.
Can?
Yeah.
Okay.
You can see the markups list.
Perfect.
Might have to go explore that one some more because I do have a stylus for the Surface, and we'll see if it'll fire up.
And then we did iPad versus Surface Pro once again, the rematch. This is when the turning point, and I was so excited because I am an iOS mobile fiend, not Mac as a desktop. I do not want to use Parallels or anything like that. However, for all my mobile devices, they're all Apple. And this was the turning tide when Jason finally got an iPad. And I don't think he's been back to his Surface Pro.
I don't think that was about the time when I started playing with the iPad more, and yeah, I think I did finally switch back. But now, until the iPad app for Bluebeam Cloud gets better, I see where it's at.
Okay.
We might have to revisit that one yet again.
This
now
one
we got
was,
a whole new version.
we do. This one was customizing Revu for your organization. So you can go through and customize and set up standards for when you deploy or just setting up standards in overall. Then we did customizing summary reports, repairing PDFs.
You can see
And
a
this-
change in my background too, if you go down a couple.
That's right. Matt moved.
That's right.
I forgot.
It's
during this
actually
time.
it's actually the same room. I just rotated my desk 90 degrees.
So in the
Hyundai two-
interim of Matt being here at
Nissan versus
ATG,
Toyota
he did
RAV4.
move.
Kill the sound.
He did move. So I forgot you guys could hear it. Traditionally, I just speak over it when I'm listening to it. Matt did move, and we won't say where he lives, but he did get a different background, and he rotated his room to have a little bit different of an organization here. Maybe I'll freeze it in a better point. There you go.
And a clean shaven face.
The
Mhm.
lighting, yeah. Face is different. Lighting's different.
And
Everyone's
also,
growing up here.
my Monstera has grown tremendously. I'll just point that out.
Wow.
I lost my white bird of paradise. It's outside now because it wasn't doing so well in here. Do you still have these plants?
No, those are dead.
Michael, you added some pictures.
Close your
on
eyes,
that
Michael.
wall,
Close your
too.
eyes.
Yeah, I
Oh,
did
there
add
it
some
is.
pictures.
It's
I
kind of
did.
skeletonized.
That's terrible, partly. If you live
I
near
actually
me.
have a plant in my office.
Hey, cool. Let's see.
I'm one of like the only people at the Little Rock office that
Hey,
Wow, look at that.
whoa.
I
Looks
don't know what
good.
it is. Purple underneath.
I forget. They're called
Oh,
it's
you
not
put him
a
on the spot.
philodendron, but it's a I have to remember it. It's almost like a rubber plant, but it's not. I'm sorry. I digress.
David wants to know if your hanging planter is still there.
Hanging planter. Which one?
Do you have multiple?
I have a bunch behind my screen. I'm actually gifting a pink princess plant today to my boss as well. So I cut my pink princess plant and propagated a bunch. But anyways,
Jolie also has a new office.
that's right. She did have some in here, I believe, that were from her house, and you could see the plants in the blur. But she has a new office in our new office in Little Rock. Is that right?
One of the best offices.
I've been trying to get my hands on going in and updating with some plants there, but no one's taking me up on it. Then this one was our first showdown. So we actually came up with this idea for some way to start some new ways to learn in Revu that aren't traditional to our workflows, but kind of stretch you outside of it with prizes, because Jason and I love prizes and giving out prizes too. And this was our first showdown. So we went through and talked about studio sessions, and then we did a studio session showdown. And this was the first one.
Mm-hmm.
So back in 23 on 2021, almost my birthday. Not the year I was born, though. Matt would maybe say it was the year I was born.
He was 10 then, yeah.
Yeah. And then we did page labels and bookmarks. We did stamp, sign, and seal. So this is another one where we revisited the sign and seal method, and we talked about stamps. This is not where we had Liz on, and we'll get to that one too. But Liz did talk about, it's way up there, the ability to go through and create custom stamps with JavaScript, and we appreciate her value add to this channel and what she's done, and we'll let her go through and post her Liz channel as well. We do believe in the community here, at ATG and on MCR. So we do promote other folks. If you do things with Bluebeam outside of it and you do have your own blog or any helpful areas, please add it into the chat so people can get access to those too.
Exactly. And she put her link in the chat for the lizlarson.me Bluebeam blog. There's great information in there. And like Michael said, this is all about the community. That's where all this started. Let's just have a morning coffee and get started with our day and engage the community and maybe pass on some tips and learn some tips ourselves to, share those ideas and get better with the software that we're using more and more each day. So absolutely shout it out. As always, if you've got a workflow that you're proud of or anything else, let us know. We'll have you on. We love to share the love and build this community because we're all kind of in the same boat, even though we work for different places and do different things.
Mm-hmm. Then the next one was the gingerbread build off. And this was using Studio again. So just like kind of the turkey, as you can see the theme, if you wanted to join this next year during the holidays, we love to give out prizes and you can get those by doing the Studio Showdown. We won't talk about the prizes or any of that stuff until that comes around, just because it's fun to talk about what it is during that time of year. Limitations in Studio. So there are limitations with using Studio sessions and projects, and we talk about all of those in here. I know there was one question that I had emailed to me at one point about exporting PDFs. What's the best way to update PDFs since you can't do document management? In this episode, we list all of those and what are some workflows you would go through and use in Revu in order to maximize your workflow in sessions. So do check this out if you do have questions about Studio sessions and projects and what you can and cannot do in both. Top 5 underutilized tools. And then we did a tech talk. I don't know how this made it in there, but bookmarks. I think this is the one I did. And then we did file sharing. So this is using and how can we go through and do file sharing in Revu. This is probably more about projects. You just got Revu. Oh, wow. So we have more intro ones than just the 2. So these are some 3 intros as well. So if you're looking at how to use Revu and you're a new time user, I highly recommend these 3 videos, 3 hours long in total. And you can go through, pause and play and learn how Revu works. Mm-hmm. This is end of life. I'll let Jolie explain this, put her on the spot. That
was my first time joining Morning Coffee League.
Okay, so this is your first time.
It's almost been my 1 year joining you guys.
Really? So I think everyone's going to hate that I have ads here. It's fine. This is the first time.
And that was in the old
background
office.
there too.
New background there.
That one was in the old office.
So do you want to talk about end of life? When this happened? What's going on?
Yeah, so I mean, March, right? What date?
March 21st.
March 21st, Bluebeam is going to have the end of life for 2019, which you can already no longer buy. But I mean, at this point, I feel like the subscription talk is a hot topic. Hopefully, most people have already upgraded from 2019. If you haven't, you should.
Yeah, because basically what Bluebeam announced is they became a SaaS-based company, which is software as a service. And they announced an end of life for Revu 2019 and below, which would then announced with an end of sale as of March 21st. Once it reaches its end of sale, they no longer support it. If it gets uninstalled from a computer, then that means you no longer have access to it as well. And that date's coming up here shortly. So you can currently upgrade all of your older licenses to a subscription model, which they used to call maintenance. And now it is actually a subscription model for Revu 21. It is more cost efficient, I will say. They call it cost neutral to get up to maintenance and be on Revu 20 before you roll into the new license subscription. So highly recommend reaching out to us here at ATG if you do have any questions about that. But this was the announcement. This was the first time we heard, well, this wasn't the first time we announced it on here because we were allowed to. We are platinum partners, so we are and do have to abide by some rules. Although Jason and I like to get as much data and information as we can to the community as quick as we can. on the MCR. And you can also check out our blog posts on our channel on LinkedIn. There is an MCR forums. So we do post there updates if we hear anything as well. But this was the first announcement there too. This plant, by the way, it's an alocasia, is now outside because it didn't like being inside and not having active light on it. But I loved this plant. It was an elephant ear alocasia. The underleaves are purple too, but they were huge.
Isn't
Oh, you're gonna
alocasia
say
one of those
that.
things you get at those late night infomercial medication things for?
I don't know, maybe.
Sure sounds like it. But yeah, David brought back a term blast from the past that honestly I kind of forgot about, even though it's so near and dear to my heart. We were all scheming on what the new version of Bluebeam was going to be, whether they were going to do Bluebeam Revu or do something else. And we were lovingly referring it to as Super Mega Ultra. And that's what it still should be. 21 is,
I believe I won because I said it was going to be Review 21.
What's the fun in that?
We called it Super Mega Ultra, though, before the release of what the name of their new solution was going to be, because it wasn't announced yet what they were going to name it. They just said a new solution. Creating custom tool sets. Then there was taking over Review. We went to New Orleans for our one team conference. So every year ATG gets together as one full team because we work all over the United States. We do have some offices where folks go into an office, but some of us are remote. And we get together one time a year. And this last one was New Orleans. Our next one will be in May and we'll be in Vegas. But this one we did field walkthroughs live within our conference area, I guess you could say. Conference hall. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then this one we did using spaces in Review. So we talked about how you can go through and use spaces. And then we went through and did interior space planning as well.
Back up, hang on a second. We can't talk about New Orleans without mentioning that Beth was a big part of that episode because I was stuck in travel land, and we got to utilize her on an iPad. And shout out to Beth. She's no longer with ATG, but she's a big part of MCR and supporting us and getting this going and all that other stuff. So big appreciation to Beth for that.
Yeah, hands down to Beth. She was definitely an integral part in allowing us to open up this avenue for you all. And she did this. I just remembering it now. She's Bluebeam Review so easy, a soccer mom can do it was the headline there. Because she was able to go through and learn how to do this in under 5 minutes. And then 1 year party. And then we did EOS reminder. So end of sale and line types. So if you want to go through and learn how to create custom line types, we did that. Flags and links. This is a great one. Maybe we'll revisit this because I haven't used flags that much, but I think this would be more of an admin end, how you can go through and flip through your PDFs using flags. Quantity link, and we'll just start going further just because our time. I'll just quickly scroll up on these deployments. Blooming into Review, again, great 2-part series versus a 3-part series. You kind of slimmed it down and what you need to know in order to get into Review. You can tell we started doing some coffee themes here. So we did cappuccinos and custom tools. We did lattes and layers, forms and foam. I love these names.
Those are great names. Who comes up with these? Is that DJ CJ?
This was Jason and myself. We were sitting here wondering about what names, and I was looking at my custom, super sugary drink, and I was like, Jason, let's name these some drinks. So
Yeah, we'll have to revisit this. I'm thinking there's a theme we can get these in.
Your next job could be naming paint colors.
We could. That's a great one.
There's like 200 whites, and they all have a cool name. So yeah, think about that.
Yeah, we were just sitting here and we were thinking about it. Took a little bit. Jason, I kept yelling out names and Jason kept giving me the eye of like, that's wrong, Michael. So I'd yell out more names. Hyperlink QC submittals. If you didn't know, Jason and I, when we do team up on coming up with names in these, because Jason's been taking over coming up with the names and descriptions. I'm more of the blab things out, and Jason will think about if what I blabbed out is correct or not, and he'll reword it for me. Basic versus enterprise. So being able to use the enterprise, there's new licensing portal within Revu for Revu 21, but before you used to have to pay an extra $10 a year per license in order to get access to this enterprise management portal. Again, Revu 21 will include that. Count sequences, documents, health and review, links, posts. So this was San Diego post XCon. We went through and talked about XCon as well. Bluebeam tips and tricks, custom statuses, Revu 21 launch. So if you're looking about what Revu is going to be, this was a stressful nightmare, I want to say almost, because licenses were having a little bit of an issue on the back end from Bluebeam for allocation of them. But everything went through and we were able to get a license and live show this as well. And then we had Peter, I can't say his last name. Noyes. Peter from Bluebeam, who he doesn't like the nickname, but we're going to say it anyways, the godfather of Revu. He is one of the first developers of Revu, the desktop app, and leading developer for Bluebeam Cloud. So if you're looking at what they're going to be pushing out for Bluebeam Cloud and kind of like the roadmap, definitely check this out. And he works at Bluebeam as well. He did have a cool trailer, or I don't know, what would you call that?
Just a
bus?
No, it was like an Airstream.
Yeah. Little
Sweet.
camper. Jason peeked up on the interest of where he was definitely presenting from. Then we had a deeper look at Bluebeam Cloud. So if you want to look at Bluebeam Cloud, interview with a Bluebeam University alum. And then we did Bluebeam subscription. We'll keep going up. We had U Chapter 2 on. So this
Troy,
is another,
yeah.
Yep. Troy DeGroot. We met him at XCon as well. He does have his own channel, his own forums, and he does teach on his own as well. I think he's the only instructor that's just out on his own about Bluebeam. He is a BCI, very knowledgeable. He has free tool sets on U Chapter 2 and also a forums page too there. So if you want to check that place out, you can. It's called the U Chapter 2. A lot of the folks that are longtime listeners on here are also very active on the forums page on U Chapter 2. Highly suggest checking that out. Again, we're all about the community and always pushing that forward. We'll scroll up to scripting. So this is where we had Liz on, and Liz brought up the ability to go through and create custom scripts. She taught this one. This is definitely something I would check out if I were you, if you're going to go through and learn how to create custom stamps. Very intuitive. She broke it down in a very simple manner and allowed us to learn for those folks that are wanting to learn and create custom stamps. So definitely want to blast this out, check it out. It's a great video on that.
Absolutely.
And then I'll let you finish this up because I talked pretty much the whole time.
No, that's just it. 100 episodes is a big milestone for us. We've got a lot of topics. Some of them you see all that we did do duplicates, but they're different. We've learned, or the community has chimed in, and then we've been able to share different things. So feel free to go check those out or review them. But also note how nice the thumbnails got. Marketing is on fire, giving us some good graphics and making sure everything's labeled and easy to find. So kudos to them as well. The ones that you don't always see here on MCR or hiding behind the events page, but they're a big part of what we do here.
Make sure you grab that link for your free t-shirt.
Yeah, that's right. Go check the chat and yeah, get a t-shirt. Sweet.
Yeah, and I'll let both Matt and Jolie finish this out. What were your both memorable moments and any finishing comments?
You got to prep me before that.
We don't prep.
Oh man, so many memorable comments. I like just the camaraderie between you two. It just works well, and it provides a nice environment to learn the tools. Like I took the BCSR and I took the was it BCP?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yes, and I recently passed that, which was awesome. But I
Congrats.
didn't do much studying. All I did was watch you guys. So anyone who tunes in can really stay up to date and know the product just by tuning in and watching, even if you do it sort of halfway. And usually I am doing it sort of halfway. I'm sort of multitasking, but even that's enough. So, you guys really do provide a great service for everyone who tunes in.
Thank you, Matt.
I mean, I would say just, that everyone in the chat also makes fun of you too. It makes it fun. But also, I mean, as stressful as the subscription live was, it was also fun. Getting to talk about that and just all the changes and everything. And meeting
Yes.
everyone at XCOM.
Meeting
Yep.
everyone, letting them know that you're the Bluebeam baddie and you can help them with everything on the back end. And also, if you have questions about Revu as a whole, definitely going through. And I'll definitely say this was a treat having both of you on, and as well as always, DJ CJ in the background, making everything work, where she came to the foreground today. So maybe we'll have to have Justin fix that with a blur so not everyone knows who you are. I don't know, but I'll let you all finish this out instead of me.
But just want to say thank you, everybody. Thanks for being a part of this. Both internally here at ATG, I got some of our happy coworkers joining us today, but also everybody out there in the community. Thanks for being a part of this. We'll see you next week, as always, and take care out there.
Take care.
See ya.